Welcome back to the 4Q podcast. My name's Sheena Shuey, and I'm so glad that you're here. Quick shout out, this is sponsored by my two businesses, Savasana Collective, Holistic Psychology, Social Work and Coaching, and Therapist VA, where I support health professionals and other therapists growing their private practice and being able to serve their communities. So let's jump into today's episode, which is all around the law of attraction and my thoughts as a therapist and someone with a psychology background around the relevance of the law of attraction. Now, this is such an interesting and divisive topic in the psychology, counseling, social work world because I think there's a lot of misunderstandings about what the law of attraction is. So for those who haven't heard of the law of attraction or maybe have heard of it but aren't very clear, it's basically, the teachings that I have been exposed to, which is Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks, which I'll get to in a minute about them because I went and saw them, is around your thoughts and your feelings create a frequency, a vibration, and that vibration aligns you with getting the things you want in life. So, there's high vibrations and low vibrations. High vibrations being those high, really great feeling emotions like joy, passion, love, excitement, contentment even, calmness, all of those sort of higher vibration feelings. And so the theory is when you vibrate in those frequencies, you create more experiences, more feelings, more, whatever of that frequency. And then there's lower frequency and vibration feelings. On the other end, things like disgust, fear, anger, and all of those things. And if it's sort of saying if you get stuck in those emotions, where you can't move past them, you'll create more of that. So it's kind of like that rolling stone gathers moss. The more you're stuck in there, the more it's going to gather and the more you're going to sort of vibrate at that and attract other things at that frequency. That sounds very strange, but again, a lot of the law of attraction people will cite physics, which we know that every atoms, all of that physics tells us that things vibrate and have different frequencies. So, a chair will have a frequency, the floor will have a frequency, our bodies, water, all of those things vibrate and have a frequency. So every single piece of matter in the universe has frequencies and they do gravitate towards each other and attract or repel each other. So it's just interesting in that way. Now, from a psychology perspective, we have a full range of emotions and we are meant to feel all of those emotions because every single emotion, whether it's anger, disgust, fear, happiness, joy, love, excitement, contentment, all give us signals and tell us something about the lifestyle we're living, the mindset we're in, and how we're traveling in life, and how we're going internally, what's going on for us. So they're very important. And, the people in the community that I work in, professionals like myself who understand the law of attraction, understand that at least with Esther and Abraham's teachings, that they talk about, it's not that you don't feel those lower frequency feelings, but it's about feeling it, understanding it, and trying to do something to shift even just to a little bit higher. So she talks about an emotional guidance scale where right at the bottom is fear, but anger is above that. So she's not saying go from fear and depression and feeling awful to feeling joyful. That's not what it is. It's about, what can I do to just shift my energy and shift to a different emotion? Anger, even though it's, we might go, anger is not a great feeling, but anger at least sits higher on this scale than fear or depression, for example. So you're not joyful yet, but you're shifting some of the energy. And we see that in terms of, the cycles of grief. We go through bargaining, feeling sad, feeling the anger until we get to a level of acceptance. It's like we're moving through that scale. And so there is something to it, and it's not that you don't feel it. But some people in the community that I'm from don't understand that. And sometimes it comes across if we have positive emotions and negative emotions, which is a bad way to label emotions, because all emotions are useful. So there's no such sort of thing as only positive or only negative emotions. And there's a misunderstanding that, you're not meant to feel it. You're sort of meant to skip it. And that's not the case at all. So there's that. And I just want to share a bit of a story about my experience with the law of attraction last year. So it's 2023 at the time of this recording. And last year in 2022, I was lucky enough to fly down to Sydney and see Abraham Hicks, who is Esther Hicks, and she speaks about the law of attraction. They speak about the law of attraction. And it's literally people coming up and asking questions about, how can I do things differently? How can I be more in alignment with the life that I want to live? So I think anything that gets people thinking about, what kind of life do I want to live? What kind of person do I want to be? What kind of people do I want to surround myself with? What kind of experiences do I want to have? What lifestyle do I want to have? Anything that teaches people how to get in that mindset, I'm absolutely supportive of. And I don't care what it is, whether it's a surf retreat, a religion, a meditation retreat, a life coaching retreat. If people are getting something positive out of it that really gets them more analytical about, who do I want to surround myself with? What's the energy that I'm putting out into the world? I'm supportive of. So I go down to this, and just to put in perspective, I have 2 young boys. Life had been really difficult. Anyone who has 2 kids under 5 and is working or has businesses knows how hectic it is. And so it felt like a big leap for me to just go, okay, husband, I'm leaving you, I'm going down. And it felt admittedly a little bit selfish, even though, no one would blink an eye if my husband went somewhere for a weekend and left me with the kids. There's that default parent stuff that we often see. So it was going, actually, this is something I want to do. I want to go. I want to go to Sydney. I want to see some family who I haven't seen in a long time. I want to experience some things. I want to go to Abraham. I want to catch up with some friends that I've been only catching up with via Zoom for all this time. So went down, had the most amazing time. Again, I was just in this space of, I'm just choosing me. This weekend, I'm choosing me, using the law of attraction. I'm going to be this person who has things fall into place for her. One of my things that I want to be and have was successful businesses, and seeing that success grow and having balance, like having these successful businesses, having a successful career while still feeling balanced and not feeling pulled and burnt out, and not having to work a generic 40-hour week. That life is not for me. I'm not doing that for 4 decades. that life, I'm not built for that. So I'm built for decadence and enjoyment and love and relationships, like all of us are, which I teach a lot of you as well. So I go down there, And again, yeah, things just fall into place, like getting upgrades on the plane, upgrades on the hotel, get upgrades in the Qantas lounge, like all the things you can imagine could go well. I was a bit nervous about picking a book. So I picked a book at the airport, and I was going into fiction, which is not usually my genre. I'm challenging myself to do things that are just for joy and not productivity. So fiction is just for joy. It's not getting my brain ticking all the time. Went and picked a book. Amazing book. Like, it was just such a good book. So just all the things were falling into place. The food I was eating was incredible. The weather was working out. Had such amazing times with my family, got amazing seats at Abraham, sat next to incredibly amazing people, which, again, I wanted to go down there because I wanted to surround myself with other people who are just in a positive mindset, who are asking themselves, what's the life I want to live? What's the lifestyle I want to live? How can I be a better person in this world and create a life that I love, right? I wanted to see what the psychology was of people who are in that mindset. So I go down there, and I was catching up with a friend after this event as well. So I caught up with my business mentor, which was incredible. We had an amazing time afterwards because I invited her along. It all worked out. She came. That was incredible. She's a huge mentor to a lot of people. So that was kind of a bit bougie to go, oh, great. Like, this person who I admire deeply, who has a highly successful business, caught up with me. So went and had a wine together. And then after that, I caught up with a friend who said, hey, come to the Women in Business Awards with me. I don't have people here with me yet. You can come in and sit at my table. So I got to be, remember how I said I was talking about, I want to be a person who is surrounded by other women who are succeeding in business, who are living a life of abundance and balance and pleasure and helping others while they do it all at once, like really creating a better world, right? I fall into, of all the dates that my friend could be going to a business awards, and not just any business awards, but like a huge Women in Business Awards, it was on that day, and she invites me along and we get to hang out. She's nominated. Like, of all the dates that I could, I was only available to see her on one day. And it just so happened to be the day that I go to a law of attraction thing. I see my business mentor. She's going to be nominated for an award, and I'm able to get a seat at that table, like a literal seat at that table, and be surrounded by the energy and, again, the frequency and the vibration of a room full of highly successful women who have created these businesses, are getting out there and doing amazing things. And I got free champagne, like all the things. I'm telling you, it happened. And I've always felt quite strange sharing this experience because, again, there's that divisiveness in my community, but I just can't hold it back anymore. It's bursting at the seams. And here's the thing. Whether it comes from a spiritual place, a place based on physics, or whether it's psychology, whether it's literally I'm stepping into the mindset of I'm going to be someone who's successful. I'm going to fake it till I make it, act like someone who's successful, talk like someone who's successful, surround myself with people who are positive and act successful, and not necessarily people who aren't supportive or, questionable. There's a huge difference between telling someone like, hey, I'm going to do this thing in my business and I'm so excited, and them going, oh my gosh, good on you. That's incredible. I can't wait to see how it turns out. Versus people who go, whoa, that's a big step. I didn't know you were ready for that. I didn't know that you could do something like that. Are you sure about that? Like, you've got such a good job. Why would you want to do that? I've had those skeptics, and you can feel the instant shift in you when someone reacts with skepticism. And it's coming from a great place, right? Like, it's not unsupportive place. It's literally they want to protect you, but you can feel that shift. So to be in a room full of women who are sort of the first example of going, get it, like go and get it. I'm so supportive of you. And whatever happens, it's going to work out for the best. So again, I think there's psychology to it in terms of we know that fake it till you make it strategy of acting as if you're a person who has traits, even if you feel like you don't have those traits yet, works. So research tells us this. So even in scenarios where if you're a person who feels like you're not good at socializing and in your mind you just go, I'm actually going to act like I'm actually good at this and I'm going to act like a person who doesn't question myself and just fake it. It's surprising the results that things like that have. Or I want to act like someone who's confident at speaking, confident in the workplace. You may not fully believe that in yourself yet, but acting like it, almost like being an actor, playing that role for that brief moment, it's like you're vibrating, your frequency, your being is like that. It's like you're actually that person. And over time and practice, that is how we build those skills. So when it comes to the law of attraction, I think the psychology and the science will show us, and I know that it has, I've researched this, is that acting as if, that strategy, acting as if, faking it till you make it, works because we're practicing skills, practicing new thoughts, creating new neural pathways that are in the direction of the person we want to become. And that, over time, is powerful. It holds so much weight. It creates such amazing opportunities. And so there's going to be therapists, psychologists, social workers, counselors out there who are absolutely 100% behind me on this. I know so many of them, and so shout out to you guys for being on this ride with me as well. It's incredible. And then there's going to be ones who, think it's a bit of a toxic culture, maybe don't understand it fully, maybe believe that it's, skipping feeling things or, not facing reality or something like that. But I feel like everybody's obviously entitled to their opinion, and I absolutely respect that. They're just protecting the clients that they care about. So that's their perspective, and that's 100% valid. They just want to make sure that this isn't something that makes people feel worse. And I can see how people, if they don't understand it fully, think that a lower vibration emotion like fear or anger, if they might be scared, if I'm feeling this, I'm going to attract more of this. So they try to skip it as opposed to sitting with it, understanding what it's telling them about a person, a situation, their life, internally, what's telling them about unresolved trauma, and then trying to shift it as opposed to getting stuck in it. So those are my thoughts. I'd love to know what you got out of this and if this enlightened you in any way. And of course, always, like with any episode I share, please feel free to message me on Instagram or send me an email about your experiences, your thoughts. If you got something new out of it, I'd love to hear from you always. So you take care. I'm so happy that you're here, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode of the 4Q podcast. Bye for now.